Good evening, guys. It is Sunday night, and we are going to talk about mindset and kittens. So first of all, we have a new kitten in our house. This is Percy Augustus, and he is Eli's new kitten, and Eli is at the skate park, so I am kitty sitting. And so we have this new kitten in our house. We have another cat that is not super social, so we are trying to see if we can introduce them the correct way, which means they need to be separated, and we put them between a door, and we're doing all these things to make it where they're going to be happy kitty friends someday. So for now, that means that they're separated a lot, so we have to hold on to one or the other and keep them in separate rooms. So I am kitty sitting while Eli's at the skate park, and isn't he the sweetest thing? He's 2 months old, and so he what's better on a Facebook Live than a new kitten? So this is our kitten. So tonight I want to talk about the mindset in your house, the atmosphere, the culture of learning in your house. And the story I want to start out with was when I taught in public school, there were many times where either we would be out to lunch or we would be all together, a group of teachers, especially during the beginning of the year. Like, for example, when we go to lunch, at the end of lunch, it was time to take the check and to split it or add tax. Inevitably, people would hand the check to one of the math teachers and say, "Hey, math teachers, y'all figure out the tax," or "Hey, math teachers, y'all figure out how much the check should be." And of course we would, and there were sometimes jokes about, "We don't teach math, we can't figure that out," or I used to do a lot of grading workshops, and people would be like, "Oh, the great, I'm an English teacher. I don't understand all those numbers," or "I'm this teacher and I don't do math." But what I always thought was interesting is if those same situations, if we had gotten to a restaurant and I had handed my menu to an English teacher and I said, "Hey, I'm a math teacher. Can you read this to me?" Well, that would have been ridiculous, right? So in our culture, in our society right now, it is embarrassing to not be able to read and write, right? Literacy is important. So we all can read and write. No one would ever say, "I can't read, I can't write. That's not something I can do." But we have decided that it's socially acceptable, it's culturally acceptable to not know math. That's perfectly fine. People say, "Oh, I can't figure out the tip." Even though, we're not talking about calculus, guys. We're talking about some pretty low-level math. Basic, life skills of math. But we have, as a culture, decided it's okay to not know that. Okay. So what I want to talk to you about tonight is making sure that in your house, you have a culture that values all knowledge. Okay. So how many of your kids know a whole bunch about a subject you know nothing about? Okay. Minecraft. I know nothing about Minecraft, but man, I have a kid who knows tons about Minecraft. I have a kid that knows tons about music, things that I know nothing about. But that's still knowledge, right? So I want to value their knowledge, whether it's about things that I'm knowledgeable about or whether it's about things that I really don't care much about. I want to value the fact that they know something about something, okay? So valuing all knowledge is our first thing. Make sure you just, even when your kids are little and they come to you and they watch Wild Kratts and they can now tell you all the things about some animal, value that knowledge. Be impressed and proud of their knowledge, even if it's knowledge you don't have. And then second is value math. Value things that you might not like yourself. As a teacher, once again, I can't tell you the number of times at parent-teacher night, I had parents come up to me and say, "Well, I wasn't very good at math." Meaning it's okay for my kid not to be very good at math because I wasn't very good at math. And once again, how sad is that? How upsetting is that? That we kind of give our kids an out. We give them an excuse. My mom and dad weren't very good at math, or, whatever. So make sure in your house you're valuing all knowledge, whether it's something that you particularly care about or think is important or not, and that you're not giving your kids excuses or ways out. That even if it's things that we struggle, then any gain is still a gain. Any win is still a win. So it doesn't have to be that we only value like the most progress. Does that make sense? So, if your kid is in school and they take the STAR test, you don't have to only value if they are at the top, or they take the SAT for everyone. Just because, it doesn't have to be the top or the highest. It's just any knowledge they have. So maybe they were lower and now they've increased a little bit. Maybe they didn't really know hardly any of their multiplication facts and now they know a few more. So even if it's just a small gain or a little win, just that we value that. We value their knowledge of things that are outside of our realm of understanding, like Minecraft or music or video games or a sport or statistics, anything that they know a lot of, that we just value that knowledge and we make sure that we're valuing all of it, even the things that we don't really care about or like, and that we don't create any kind of excuse for our children as far as math, or even maybe it's another subject. Maybe for you, you don't really like to read books, okay? Maybe that's not your thing. As an adult, you just really have, I mean, you know how to read, you know how to write, but you're just not a reader. And so we don't want to say things like, well, I'm just not a reader, because then our kids hear that and then it makes, oh, my mom's not a reader, my dad's not a reader, so I don't need to be either. And maybe they don't, but let's give them that choice. Okay, so my goals tonight are making sure that we value all knowledge and that we don't give our kids any excuses or any outs, so that you just have a mindset and a culture and an atmosphere at your house that's valuing all the knowledge. So that's my tip for tonight. Once again, we have a little kitten here with you, with us, Percy. And if this was a value to you or you enjoyed this at all, if you would share it, I would so appreciate it. And also, hopefully in the next few days, there's going to be 2 big announcements. I'd like them to be tomorrow, but they might be Tuesday or Wednesday, so be looking for them. One of them is going to be a new website that I'm finishing up, and the other is going to be a pretty good giveaway. So those are the 2 things that are coming up this week. And be looking on my page. And if you, once again, if you would share this, I would really, really appreciate it. So hope everyone has a great Sunday night. And I am headed out for a walk with my husband. We've been walking 2 miles a night. So I'm headed out to do that. And we'll leave this kitten who, guys, he fell asleep. Look at that. He is fast asleep in my hands. Okay. Thanks so much, guys. It's been fun. And we'll talk to you later.